In her livestream, Somi straight up told us what this song is about. If you read the lyrics on the surface level, it could be about
what you're waiting for is about, it has multiple meanings. It could be me talking to a guy. Dude, what are you waiting for? I'm here. I look nice. I think you like me. I think I like you too. What are you waiting for? Come and like ask me out.
But like she describes, there's more to it than that. And the broader message could be applied to any kind of situation.
And it also means, Somi, what are you waiting for? You should go ask that guy out. Why are you waiting for the guy to ask you out? Somi, just do what you gotta do. You can go run for your dreams, achieve whatever you wanted to achieve. Okay, it kind of has multiple meanings.
In the beginning, we see her sitting on the bed doing nothing. The lyrics show her putting the blame for her problems on someone else. She has people around her doing everything for her because she doesn't think she can accomplish anything by herself. Until life forces her to take action and solve her own problems. We see two versions of Somi looking at each other. Ponytail Somi literally pushes insecure Somi out of her comfort zone. Shining Knight Somi then bulldozes a wall so that insecure Somi has no excuse but to step out. This is her internal struggle, finding the willpower and confidence to push herself past her own barriers. The reason she looked up at the ceiling and saw herself steering a boat is because she has a desire to steer her own life in the direction she wants rather than go with the flow of water. Not where the public wants her to go, not where the people around her make it go. Coincidence or not, she was struggling with this very thing in her reality show until Teddy told her to take a stand for what she wants. It then shows us that when Somi puts herself out there, people will follow. This epiphany is highlighted with her English name on the building, and in Dutch it means sword, hence all the sword symbolism throughout this comeback. The sword represents her finally discovering her own strength. This is when, all by herself, she finds herself. According to their behind the scenes, the Dreamcatcher girls are each trapped in their own personal nightmares. The game that this music video ties into dives more into the lore of this crystal that basically seizes their minds and hijacks their subconscious. The only one that hasn't been affected is their leader, GU, who eventually submits herself into the spell of this crystal as she finds her way to each of the members to release them. And the only way to get them back to reality is to end their current one. Now, we see each member is subjected to a different environment. I believe the crystal presents you with something you want and then takes it away. Riches, knowledge, comfort, freedom, all useless when you are completely isolated, slowly driving the girls crazy to the point of insanity with no way to tell how long they've been or will be there. I think that's why each of these settings looks so chaotic. At some point the girls went mad and then eventually lost any kind of emotion at all. That could be why some of them seem so zombie-like as GU aims at them one by one and takes the shot. As the music video fades out of blackness, we see the girls in a paradise together. The 5 saved members look at GU with gratefulness and love as GU finally gets to reach out for her sister's hand. But that's when all of a sudden, the 5 of them disappear before her very eyes. She is now trapped alone in her own nightmare, presented with what she wanted most, a family, only for it to be taken away in a sick twist of fate. As she looks down, the music video reveals to us that GU knew this going in, intentionally sacrificing herself forever. That's why she got emotional for the final shot, because she knew that was the last time she would see her sister Gahyun and the other members. However, because this music video was a collaboration for a mobile game, it could be setting up a quest for the rest of the Dreamcatcher girls and players of the game. A quest to attempt the impossible, to save the unattainable. Although R.o.S.E stands for something very specific within the game, in the song, it represents something else. GU has become the personification of that which is unreachable, often symbolized with a very specific flower. It can be very intimidating diving into ATEEZ's Inception when you realize that all of their music videos connect to one another. That's why I want to break down Inception in a way where hardcore fans who have kept up with everything can take the general ideas and observations to either reaffirm their own theories or be inspired to come up with one themselves that might completely differ from mine, while at the same time making it clear and concise enough for new and incoming fans to not only understand Inception as an isolated story, but also be interested enough to explore the rich lore that ATEEZ have already established. To give you a tiny taste, ATEEZ's Treasure series depicts different chapters of their hunt to success, while simultaneously showing us their struggle to find who they really are along the way. The final installment seemingly presented a resolution between the two versions of ATEEZ, as the answer they were looking for in order to succeed in this treasure hunt could only be found if they coexist. That in itself is the answer. But of course, we were left with a cliffhanger as a mysterious masked man shows up, presumably leading us into the next series. But if you are that newcomer, if you are that incoming fan, or even just a casual fan, this comeback is the perfect place to start, because ATEEZ themselves have stated that this Fever series is a prequel to their Treasure series, hence Zero. This new batch of stories will be set before they even set out on this quest to find their treasure, before they were even ATEEZ. And in the beginning, we are introduced to each member. Not together, but off in their own separate worlds. Whether literally or metaphorically, I leave that up to you. We start with Hongjung, who wakes up, is presented with an hourglass with sand that is running upward, visually sending him and us back in time. Or in their words, it could also be another dimension. The point is, we are now witnessing how ATEEZ will eventually come together. We see that Hongjung is alone and lost in every conceivable way. Songhwa is visually imprisoned within his own routine life and insecurities that ultimately lead him nowhere. Woo-young is held back and diminished by his stage fright and fear of performing alone. Yo-sang is disillusioned with limited freedom. Yes, he does get to pursue his musical endeavors, but not really in a way or to the extent that he wants. Just like a bird who is able to fly around, but is limited by the size of their cage. Unlike the previous guys we've seen, Sun is not stuck, rather constantly moving, never staying in one place long enough to make any kind of meaningful or lasting relationship. A life that continuously moves toward nothing. Yuno is living in perpetual guilt, always being haunted by what happened to his brother and the dreams he'll never get to live. Jungho, who had two dreams, two purposes guiding his life, now lives with the emptiness of no path to follow. His injury seemingly ended his dreams of playing basketball, while it is hinted that Mingi is to blame for the downfall of Jungho's musical dreams as well. See, Mingi seems to be the odd one out, as we are introduced to his mindset of isolation, deliberately using music to block himself from anyone and anything. But it seems like the answer to all of their misery is the union of all of these broken pieces. Hongjung finds his purpose, friends, and family when the 8 of them are together. Seunghwa, inspired by the girl dancing beyond the lines around her, is now able to be free from his own limiting beliefs. Woo-young's fear of performing in front of people is overpowered by the support of his friends and knowing he is never truly alone on that stage. When Yo-sang is making music with the guys, we see the birds around them fly freely as his limited freedom now becomes creative freedom. The giant warehouse contrasted with the confined classroom. When San is with the boys, he experiences the close bond and stability that has always eluded his constantly moving life. Rather than feeling guilty about the dreams his brother will never get to accomplish, when Yuno is with the guys, it seems as though he's working toward those dreams for his brother in his honor. While one of Jungho's dreams is now unattainable, being with the boys keeps his dream of music and purpose alive. Even Mingi, who again uses music to shut the world out, happily opens up and creates it when they are all together. But like we saw, something breaks this up. Something shuts this down. And Hongjung is given the opportunity to put it all back together. We see that without each other, the guys revert back to their fears and back to their pain. I believe it's Hongjung's mission to incept their mutual burning passion back into the minds of these guys, reminding them that being together, working toward the same aspirations, helped them rise up and kept them from drowning in the first place. We see a symbolic representation of that with the fire above them and the water below them. We see that fiery passion engulfed the thing that was holding each member back from their true destiny. Toward the end, we see Hongjung running down the same hallway we saw Mingi in, as the scenes rapidly flash between the two of them, only for us to see Hongjung on the bed instead, and then seemingly, similar to the movie Inception, in a state of limbo. My theory is that he wasn't able to reach Mingi the way he was able to awaken the others, and without one of them, he has none of them. However, the music video's second to last shot and the choreography's final position shows us an impending face-off between them, and I believe their upcoming Thanks music video will continue this quest and fill in the holes we all have in our theories. Regardless, Inception is a brilliant word and title to use for this beginning phase of their story. Not only is it about the moment their dreams, passion, and purpose was incepted into their minds, leading them to eventually become who they're supposed to be, it's also about their beginnings, the creation, the inception of ATEEZ themselves.